FAUST by Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. A Tragedy. Part 1. Dedication. You shifting figures. I remember seeing you dimly long ago, and now I found you coming back again. I wonder, should I try to hold on to you this time? Have I the inclination? Have I the heart for it? You draw closer out of the mist. Very well then, have your way. The magic breeze that flows along with you fills me with yearnful excitement. You bring back joyful days and joyful scenes, and you recall many folk who were dear to me. Early love, early friends rise from the past like an old tale half forgotten. The pain comes back, and with it the lament that life should be so wayward, so confused, and I go over the names of those good people who left this life before me, cut off by some ill chance from further happiness. Those I wrote for then will not see what follows now. The friendly throng is dispersed. The early responses have died away. I write now, for the unknown crowd, those very approval I dread. If there are any now alive who were pleased with my verses, they are scattered far and wide. And a great desire seizes me, a desire I have not felt for years, to return to this solemn realm of the spirit. My song resumes hastily, insecurely, like an alien harp. I am shaken through and through. The tears come freely, and my heart is softened. All my world now seems far away, and what was lost has become real and immediate. Prelude on the stage. The director, the poet, the clown. Tell me, you two, you've stood by me so many times when things were bad. What luck do you think we shall have on this tour of ours through the country? The crowd is so easygoing, I'd like to please them. The posts are up and the stage is ready, and there they are, all sitting with their eyes wide open, looking forward to a treat and perhaps a real surprise. I usually know how to satisfy them, but I've never been so much at a loss as now. Of course, they're not used to seeing the best, but they've read an awful lot. We want something lively, something novel, and it has to be pleasant too, and not meaningless. For I must say, I like the sight of people streaming in clouds to the tent, thrusting in bursts like burst bangs through the narrow gate, and fighting their way to the box office all in broad daylight at 4 in the afternoon or earlier. Yes, breaking their necks almost to take a ticket, like starving men in a famine at a baker's stall. No one but a poet can work this miracle on such a mixed public. My friend, do it today. Don't speak to me about the vigor mob, the seething vortex that sucks you in against your will. The very sight of it paralyzes me, lead me rather to the quiet nook that is my heaven. The only place where a poet can be happy and can cultivate his precious gift among those who love and cherish him. The verses, good or bad, that spring to his lips from deep within him are crowded out in the soul and timbre of the day. You have to wait for years to see them in their true light, showing things are just meant for the moment. But whatever is really good comes through the posterity. Posterity, I hate the word. What if I were to talk about posterity? Who would amuse people now? They want their fun, and they're going to get it. Having a lad like me on hand is worth something, isn't it? If you know how to reach your audience, you'll never quarrel with it. And the bigger it is, the easier they are to work on. So be a good boy and do your best. Give us something with all sorts of imagination in it. Give us wisdom, good taste, feeling, passion if you like. But don't forget there has to be some clowning too. Plenty of action. That's the first thing that's needed. People want to use their eyes, they want to see. If you keep the scenes moving all the time, if you keep them staring and glapping, it's more than half the battle. They'll love you. Give them lots of stuff and you'll approve to lots of people. Everyone will be free to make his choice. If you offer plenty, there'll be this and that for so many of them, and they'll all go home contented. Whatever piece you do, do it in pieces with a mixed groove you can't miss. It's easy to think up, easy to stage. If you present them with an artistic whole, what's the use? They'll only take it in snatches anyway. You don't know what a cheap trick that is, unworthy of a true artist. Birch work, the lowest of the low, that's what you've come down to. Talk like that doesn't bother me. If a man wants to be effective, he must use the right tools. Just remember what sort of people you're addressing. It's not hard wood you had to spit, it's soft. One of them comes because he's bored, and another comes for gorging at the dinner table. And, what is worse, quite a lot of them has just been reading the newspaper. They come with their minds on something else, the way you go to a carnival. It's curiosity at most that brings them along. The ladies come in their finery, and this helps too without costing us anything. What are you poets dreaming of in your very towers? Don't give yourself illusions about a full house. Take a closer look at our patrons, coarse, cold-hearted people, one hoping for a game of cards after the play, and another for a wild night in bed with a girl. You silly fools! There's no sense in tormenting the night muses here. I tell you, give us plenty, pile it on, and you can't go wrong. Just get them all mixed up. They're hard to please. What's got you now? Are you in pain? Or is it ecstasy? Off you go and get someone else to do your dirty work. Do you expect a poet, wantonly to trifle away his greatest gift, nature's gift to his humanity, merely to oblige you? By what power is it that a poet masters the elements and moves the hearts of all men? Is it not the sense of harmony extending from him to impress the world? Without him, nature is like an endless drought, indifferently, discordantly turning on the spindle, no harmony in it. Who is it that breaks up the monotony, enlevens it, gives it rhyme? Who is it that can take a single thing and make it part of the great chorus extolling the universe? Who is it that blends storms and tempests with the human emotions and mingles the glow of sunset in our thoughtful moods? Who scatters all the spring flowers in the paths where lovers walk? Who make the mingled glory into a crown of honor for all who deserve it? Who assures us they are gods in constant Olympus? Is it the power of man as revealed in the poet? All right, get to work with it, this pretty gift of yours. Try it on a love story. You know how it goes. You meet someone, you feel something, you stick around, and bit by bit you get involved. You're all happiness, and then trouble comes. First the rapture, and then the misery. And before you know where you are, you have a whole romance. Write us a play on these lines, but screw it up out of real life, life at the full. Everybody lives it, few know it, and it's interesting no matter where you scratch it. Verity, color, confusion, error, and a grain of truth. That's the right blue, it suits everyone. The handsome young folk will turn up, tense with expectation. The sentimental ones will get their fill of melancholy. You'll touch life at many points, and so each of them will learn about himself. They're young, they're ready to laugh, ready to cry. They're still growing, they still have their ideals, their illusions. You can appeal to that. Adults are so set in their ways you can never please them, but the young will always be grateful for what you offer. Then give me back the days when I was like that, the days when a fountain of song welled after me, the song after another, and never stopped. The world was void in mist, the building branch was a miracle of promise. The valleys were clothed with flowers, thousands of flowers for me to pluck. I had nothing, yet I had enough, the urge towards truth and the joy of illusion. Oh, give me back those driving passions, the deep happiness that's hers, the force of hate, the power of love. Oh, make me young again. Youth, my friend, is what you may need in the streets of battle, or in love when pretty girls hang on your neck and won't be repressed, or if you're running a race and seeing the winning post so near and yet so far, or on righteous nights, first wailing in the dance and then feasting and drinking till daybreak. But when it comes to play the old familiar tune, and doing it boldly, yet gracefully, and setting yourself a task and working it out in a happy, casual way, that old gentleman It's your job and we respect you for it. They say old age makes us childish, but it isn't so. Old age brings out the true child in all of us. We've had arguments enough. What we want now is action. You're wasting your time over these compliments when we might be doing something useful. That's the good of talking about being in the mood or not in the mood. The mood never comes to those who hesitate. If you pretend to be poets, make your poetry do what you tell it to do. You know what we want. We want strong drink, so on with the work. We've no time to lose. That you don't do today, you won't find down tomorrow. Tackle something with your reach and go at it with a will. Once started, you won't want to let go and you'll work on because you're committed. You know that in the German theater, each of us is free to experiment. Today, you can be lavish with scenery and all the furnishings. You have sun and moon at your disposal and stars in plenty. Water, fire, rocks, beasts, birds, we're not short of any. So on this little stage of ours, you can run through the whole of creation and with fair speed make your way from heaven through the world to hell. Prologue in heaven. The Lord, the heavenly host. Then Mephistopheles. The three archangels step forward. The song resounds among the sing-saffrons with its ancient music and, sounding loud, completes its course. The angels cannot fathom it, but the mere sight gives them strength. The great, the incomparably great works of creation are splendid as on the first day of the world. And with speed, incredibly the earth revolves in its glory. The radiance of paradise alternating with deep and dreadful night. Sea flows storm at the base of the rocks, and sea and rocks alike are whirled in the swift motion of the spheres. And tempest on tempest rages from sea to land, from land to sea, forming a chain of mightiest energy. Dread lightnings flash before the thunderclap. But your messengers, O Lord, revolve the gentler processes. The angels cannot fathom it, but the mere sight gives them strength, and all your mighty works are splendid as on the first day. Since you, O Lord, are receiving once more and wish to know how we're getting on, here I am again among those present. You've never made me feel uncomfortable in the past. Only you must forgive me, I can't talk big. If I tried, you'd laugh at my rhetoric. But I forget. You haven't laughed for a long time. On the sun and the planets, etc., I've nothing to report. I only see the life of man, how wretched it is. These little laws of creation haven't changed in the least. They're just as queer as they were on the first day. It would be better for them if you haven't given them the light of heaven. They call it the reason, and all they use it is to make themselves more bestial than the beast. With your Grace's permission, they seem to me like those long-legged grasshoppers that make their little flying jumps and then settle in the grass and sing the same old song. If only they would stay in the grass, but they bury their noses in all the dirt they find. Is it all you have to say to me? Must you always come complaining? Is there never anything on earth that you approve of? No, sir. I found it pretty bad there, as I always have. Men's lives are so miserable, I'm sorry for them. Poor things, I haven't the heart to plague them myself. Do you know FAUST? What? The professor? He is my servant. Well, I must say, he has his own way of serving you. The common food and drink is not for him. There's an unrest in him that drives him off the map. He half knows how crazy he is. He claims that heaven ought to yield him the pick of the stars, and earth is almost daylight, and nothing, near or remote, can ever satisfy him. I admit he's not yet rid of his confusion, but I shall soon lead him into the light. The gardener knows when he sees the tree in leaf that flower and fruit will follow in due season. Then will you, Wagger? I'll take him from you yet. If you give me permission to lead him gently my way, you're free to do that for the rest of his days. Striving and straying, you can't have the one without the other. Much obliged. I've never enjoyed having to do with the dead. Rosy cheeks are what I like. I've no use for corpses. I'm like a cat with a mouse. Very well. I leave it to you. Draw his mind away from its true source, and if you can get a grip on him, set him on your downward path, and confess in the end to your shame. Man in his dark imbues always knows the right road from the wrong. Good enough, but I shan't be long over it. I'm not afraid of losing my bet. If I succeed, you must allow me to celebrate my triumph. I'll make it eat the dust and enjoy it, like an old friend, the serpent. I give you complete freedom, as I always have. I've never hated your sort. Of all the negative spirits, your roguish kind gives me the least concern. It's so easy for men to slump, and before long they want to do nothing at all. So I don't object to their having your company. You act as a stimulant, and so serve a positive purpose in spite of yourself. But you, the true sons of heaven, I bid you rejoice in the living beauty of the world, its groans, its love. Seek in your minds for what is permanent in its change. The heavens close, the archangels withdraw. I like to see the old man now and then, and I take good care to keep him with him. It's nice, so great a personage to talk to the devil himself in this human way.